Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Accelerator with Michael Conniff. That's me. I'm your host. We are a podcast dedicated to founders, entrepreneurs, startups, accelerators, incubators, innovators, and also, of course, the venture capitalists, angels, investment firms, and family offices who serve them. I am happy to be part of a podcast that is on all the major platforms. You can find the Accelerator on all the major podcast platforms like Audible and Apple and Amazon, and many others, and also on YouTube. So make sure to rate, rank, and subscribe to us, and leave a note and tell us how much you like it or the parts you don't like. We want good, honest feedback. Today, I'm really excited to welcome to the podcast, to the Accelerator, Kofi Mensah. He is the CEO of SAGOS Distro, a music management platform. Welcome, Kofi. How are you?
I'm doing good, Michael. Nice to be here. I'm glad you invited me on your podcast.
Yeah. No, it's very excited to have you now. You look like that's New York City in the background.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
right?
yes. I'm in near the Gramercy area right now.
But you're not from New York City, so tell us about where you're from.
Awesome. So once again, my name is Kofi, founder of SAGOS Distro. I'm originally from Ghana. I moved to New York about 7 years ago. Next month is actually my 7th year anniversary. So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, so my background is primarily in music management. I started an independent record label after college, whilst I was still working for an accounting auditing firm. I hated accounting, but I just had to do it for the family. But the second year running, we were able to expand our record label operations across different parts of Africa and Europe as well, primarily the UK and in Holland, and did a lot of work in the west coast of the USA as well. So that really brought me a little bit of sweet spot for the entrepreneurship, and I had a little taste of it. Based on that experience, I worked for a few other tech companies in the past that got me interested in launching my own technology company in the future. So bringing me forward towards now launching Sagos Distro by the beginning of last year, and expanding our operations in the USA, Africa, and Asia as well.
So I should point out that I have mentored you at Startup VC in New York, which has really been a lot of fun for me, at least. I hope for you. Uh, but I'm really impressed with what you've done, and we'll get into that in a minute. But you were an accountant. You started your own record label. What kind of music got you excited enough to put on a record?
It was primarily hip hop and R&B with a version of pop and reggae music. So we would start listening to a lot of artists, it's primarily from the USA and the Caribbean, as well as other artists from Africa since we were kids. I always loved to watch MTV after school. So,
Oh,
so
really?
when I go back to school, I tell my friends the freshest song that I heard the day before. So it was primarily hip hop and pop music that got me interested in music in the first place, and wanting to learn about the record business.
Okay, so you had this instinct to start the company. What made you go into music management?
I kind of fell into it because of my background as an accountant and business manager. Most of my artist friends, whenever we would go for shows, would insist that I take on the management role. So I kind of fell into it, and I would be doing the budgets and handling the PR people and getting the venue locations, timelines right. Then I started doing contracts, and after contract after contract, and I started really enjoying it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick to management full time, and that really got me towards an entrepreneurship path that I really appreciate even today.
Now, when you started your management company, it sounded like you didn't necessarily begin thinking you were going to be a manager, but you started to just help these artists. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes, I it started off just like helping them out. even though I had a general interest of being business in the future, I didn't really know a clear path towards achieving that. So once I started helping different kind of artists out, and I started learning on the job, and I realized, hey, I can really do this based on the early on success that we got. We got a big endorsement deal that enabled us to do some tours around Europe and west coast of the USA as well as Africa.
So that brought you over here. So, how many acts did you manage as a manager, and where were they? Where were those
So
acts?
we started with two and it grew to 15, and they were primarily
Wow.
based out of in Africa and London, majority of them, and we had a 30% who were in California. So the 70% were in Africa and London, and the 30% were in California.
And what did you try to do for those artists as a manager? Obviously, you want people to go see them, buy their music. What does a music manager do?
So
That might
when we started, I was actually speaking with one of my friends at different management company. We started off, and I was doing everything from, because then they have the road managers and have the business managers. I started doing everything from the business management aspect, then a road management aspect. That means I was
Mhm.
liaising and booking shows with the booking agents, sometimes booking shows myself. I was liaising with DJs and the PR people. Um,
Mhm.
Basically, I would take care of the whole artist career. I would sometimes have to be in the studio with the artist and go through all the songs on the album, give my recommendation as to which song will make the album, which songs will not make the album. Planning the rollout release together with PR companies and meeting with different DJs at different times of the night. So in the beginning, I really had to learn every aspect of the business because the managers, let's just say if a manager worked for a big company, they would do just the road management aspect of it, or they would do just the business management aspect of it. They wouldn't be doing anything related to booking agents or even the PR campaigns as they speak. So I learned every aspect of the industry out of necessity, and that really gave me a well-rounded background and helped me towards achieving a lot of great success with different artists.
How long did you do that?
Oh, so basically that started off. It was over a decade experience in that realm. So yeah, it was quite a while, but we had a lot of freedom still to because I was my own boss, so there was a lot of freedom to actually delve into other endeavors at the same time. Whilst I was managing those acts, we will have a peak season where we'll be very busy, and then we will have an off season sort of where we were not touring, where we could actually engage in different aspects. That's where I learned how to partake in different startups, fintech field, and learn a lot from the colleagues on that aspect too. So we worked for a few telecom companies on contract, was primarily based on events and music, then started doing team management for them as well. And then, so telecom companies and a few other fintech companies as well.
So when you said this, so you're sort of managing in a very broad sense, um, but you're in an industry, music, where managers really don't have a great reputation in general, do they?
That is very true. I was watching a documentary from a rock band in the 70s, and they were having fights with over seven managers before they got here. So,
Right.
like every
And also
industry,
all kinds of famous lawsuits of
yeah,
Van Morrison, Billy Joel,
yeah,
just endless lawsuits with managers.
that is
Um,
so true.
typically, historically, I'm certainly not putting you in this category, but historically, managers can get to an artist very early, and at that point, artists are willing to kind of sign whatever's put in front of them. Typically, not necessarily having proper representation.
Right.
Um, and so bad things can happen under those circumstances. How did you try to avoid that?
Well, what I realized the most is working with artists. All artists are skeptical, like you said. with managers, and there are bad players in every industry, and especially in this industry, there are a lot of bad players. So I work based on trust. I build trust with the artists. I let the artists see me, see the team I work with, and then we go through a whole, 3 to 5 year plan before we even sign any paper. So I don't shove documents in your face. Like, artists know that now when a manager is trying to shove documents in your face, probably it might not be the best one for you. Good
Uh-huh.
managers will not force you to sign any documents. There's gonna be first meeting, second meeting, wrap up meeting, and going through 3 to 5 year plans. And for the artists to write down, I tell artists write down a bunch of questions
Mhm.
for our next meeting before we go through any paperwork. So
Uh-huh.
the artists are being educated at the same time before they even join our organization, basically, and that's how we like to
Yeah.
operate.
And so let's turn to Sagos Distro, which is your startup, um, and which is I'm going to let you describe it because it's a pretty interesting place. So
Absolutely.
how would and the Sago decide is short for solid as gold, or as we might say in the U.S., solid gold.
Yes.
Um, but tell me why you decided to do a company, and then how your thoughts and values are reflected in Sagos.
Well, the company came as a necessity because we wanted an all-in-one platform that would help us to not just distribute but actually monetize um, all the catalog that we've had over the years on both Web 2 and Web 3. So we were looking at, we've used almost every distribution platform out there. Some of us have been our friends over the past decade, and we saw a few limitations when it came to the marketplace. So we wanted to launch music and video because it's content, audio, and video distribution. The marketplace is primarily based off either just audio alone or just video alone distribution. So we did a music and video distribution, focusing on advanced funding for artists, and also being able to have an NFT launchpad marketplace that's going to provide a separate revenue stream for the artists. So imagine artists either from today's young age or artists from the 70s can still be monetizing their catalog, not just on the traditional streaming and licensing platforms that we have, but the new age Web3 technologies that can provide a separate stream of income for any catalog holder, being new or old. So there's no limitations on there. So we plan to have that unilateral vertical integration between Web 2 and Web 3 on web platforms that can provide high level monetization for artists and managers, independent labels as well.
So the idea is to get catalogs, right? Get songs on the platform, and then just so people understand this, the distribution part is artists, particularly musicians, can make a lot of money or a little money if their songs are used in movies, television, documentaries, commercials. There's a myriad of ways their music can be
Yep.
used, right?
Yep.
And same goes for video.
Yep.
So what you're doing is on one platform you're putting music and video and Web 2 and Web 3. Web 3 I want to get to in a minute, but I want to focus sort of on the traditional way this works. So how many songs do you have on your platform as of right now, early 2023?
As of right now, we have over 19,000 songs on the platform. We
Hmm.
just started doing onboarding an additional 650,000 catalog that we're going to onboard. So as of now, is 19,000 catalogs on there, representing different production companies and artists in the U.S., Africa, and Asia as well.
And who is providing the 600,000 additional? Because now we're talking about 620,000,
Yeah,
which is a lot.
yeah.
Who is providing the additional 600,000?
So this will primarily be split between management companies in Africa and a few production companies in Korea and India. So they have a catalog from way back, which includes not just music and videos, but also animation. So
Mhm.
one of the companies is comparable to Disney. So they have a huge catalog of not only animation, but also animation music albums as well, which has not been distributed yet. So now we have a new agreement with them that we're gonna be able to digitally launch all of the catalogs dating back over 10 years.
And where is that animation company?
They are based in California, but the HQ is in India.
India. Okay, so let's take that as an example. You get a song in your catalog. Um, um, let's say that a film production company in India, for example, wants to use it. They get the license to do that through your platform, SAGOS, right?
Yes.
And then you split the money with the artist, right? Essentially, right? So how does that split play out? What is the split typically?
So the split ranges between 50-50 to 70-30 based on the catalog holder. So usually it's a 50-50 split, but we have situations whereby it's 70-30 split. That means the catalog holder takes 70 and we take 30.
So why would a catalog go with? And by the way, are these deals exclusive or
So
non-exclusive?
we have both exclusive and non-exclusive deals. Most of the old catalog are non-exclusive, but some of them we are still launching new catalogs as well. So the new
Mhm.
catalogs that we're launching together will be exclusives, but the old ones are non-exclusives.
So why would a company like that go with Sagos? You know, you're very new. You're I don't want to say unproven, but certainly new to the marketplace. So why would they go with you? And what's the competition look like?
Well, this is the main reason why many of these production companies and managers will go with us because primarily once they are launching any product, they are stuck with dealing with different companies to be able to monetize the content. So, let's just say one of the companies that we're talking about, they have the audio, they have the video, and they have skits, which is separate from the audio and the video. And one company is out there to say, hey, this is how we're going to monetize the audio, this is how we're going to monetize the video, and this is how we're going to monetize the skits at the same time, right? So there's really a lack of direction in a full service solutionary company for even big companies to monetize their content. So imagine a younger, smaller artist will have no idea, no chance as to what to do when it comes to even Web2 monetization. And we're not even going to Web3 monetization just yet, right? So
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
tedious for industry practitioners to be able to monetize on one platform. They always got to have multiple logins and different companies to deal with.
So let's talk about Web3. So when you say Web3, I assume you're referring to NFTs, blockchain, smart
Yeah.
contracts, and
Tokenization.
so on, tokenization. So, what are you providing? What services are you providing on your platform for Web3?
So, regards to Web3, it allows the artist or production company to upload the audio and the artwork and then mint it into NFT and attach our token to it. What that helps that artist or production company does is to be able to grow their community. Like you say, an artist have a community on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok. That same community can now be sort of like their business partners. Every NFT that they mint or they drop either for free or for a token will appreciate in value based on the community engagement, right? So any artist that has a TikTok fan base and really just it being a free platform for the artists to showcase their music, now can showcase
Mhm.
that same content on an NFT platform and tokenize that content and actually generate more revenue than they would do on TikTok. So it actually provides an 80% revenue increase for artists if they're able to monetize that same music that they have on Web2 on the NFT marketplace that we have.
Now, has that is that happening? Has that begun?
Yes, So we started launching some of the old content on there as well. We're doing one-off drafts to see the response, and the response is primarily across chain and using different protocols that exist in the marketplace right now. So the blockchain infrastructure provides a minimum of over 150 million wallets that can be tapped into, right? So imagine minimum of 150 million wallets sitting there for you to, really capitalize on and come up with a strategy and a game plan to monetize those wallets. So it's a huge
How many
opportunity.
wallets?
So the
How many wallets?
blockchain technology across chain is minimum 150 million wallets, minimum.
Worldwide.
Yep,
Worldwide. Okay, so that's the potential,
yep,
right? That's the potential, is to get people to buy these, video or audio or art or whatever the media
mm-hmm,
is, and put it in their wallet,
mm-hmm,
and thereby giving you as Sagos as the distributor a way to monetize this
exactly. And any
for
fan
the
base
artist.
that gets that token into their wallet will be able to exchange that token either for utility shows, events, or use it as an exchange with other fans, or use it as a storage value for money.
Okay, so I feel like we should avoid crypto in the conversation. I mean, maybe not, but I want to point out just something I saw
Right,
recently, a video of Warren Buffett, the famous investor,
right,
uh, the Sage of Omaha, I think they call him.
yeah,
But he's in his 90s, right? He's 91. He's the top five richest person in the world.
right,
So he should be listened to, right? So here's what he said. He said, "Crypto is nonsense.
right,
Uh, it's entirely based on somebody, the next person coming along, willing to pay more than you
right,
paid. That's it. It doesn't represent anything. It's not tied to anything the way that the dollar is tied to gold, I guess, on some
right.
level." Uh, but he said blockchain is important. Now, I think this is really worth everyone out there remembering that Warren Buffett, who is so negative on crypto, says blockchain is important. Why do you think blockchain is important?
Well, we have to understand this that we live in a centralized world for a long time, and the opportunity that has presented itself with blockchain to have a decentralized, autonomous organizations that really anybody could be from Armenia or Malawi or Lesotho, anywhere in the world, and will come from the most deplorable conditions with a poor economy and a destabilized currency. Blockchain and crypto provides that person an opportunity to escape a bad economic situation or a bad currency situation that they find themselves in. So it
Yeah,
it
a bad economy. Yeah.
so I don't really like crypto as exchange platforms. I like crypto as utility, either exchange for physical asset or
Hmm.
as an exchange between a community. So let's just you have your own community and these are your people. You want to have your own exchange together, no strangers, is a good use case for you and your community, right? So
Yeah.
any decentralized community that you want to build outside the mainstream, crypto and blockchain has huge, immense benefits for them. Now, regards to the exchanges, like what's going on with FTX and other projects, there are always going to be a lot of bad players in every industry. So a few bad players has given the crypto a very bad rap. But when it comes to blockchain or Web3, it's a totally different world, and crypto is just one part of it, right? That has a bad name. So we don't necessarily
Yeah.
have to play in crypto, but it provides a lot of value if you will build a decentralized community between you and your
Sure.
peers.
Right, and the tokens play a part in that.
Exactly.
So, Kofi, what's next? What's on your plate? What do you have to do next to make this company a success?
So we're currently doing pre-seed right now, and the next step will be after we raise that, we want to tap into the network of music business professionals that we've built in over 40 countries. We've been having meetings throughout the whole of last year and the close of last year, and we are going to be doing our artist and manager incubator programs coupled with a few PR and music events to be able to galvanize a lot of interest among industry practitioners and professional organizations, a few labels, go-to-market partners, which includes Spotify, Vivo, TikTok, and Spotify will actually launched a new feature that we're going to test on our platform, which is going to allow artists to increase their how many fans actually see their music on Spotify. So we have a lot of different go-to-market strategies in place. Once we finalize our seed round, and we'll be able to tap into a network in 40 countries that we'll build over time.
Well, I want to thank everyone for listening to the Accelerator today. We're a podcast, and we've done over 50 of them now, dedicated to the startup community, entrepreneurs, founders, VCs, angels, and family offices, investment firms, and the like. Kofi knows that I'm excited about his company, and I think it's great to see somebody in this space where so much historical exploitation has occurred of the artists. And if there's a way to put more money in the pocket of artists, I think we all should be in favor of that. I think that would be a great thing. And along the way, if you can make some money too, so much the better. So really appreciate your being with
Thank you
us,
for having
and
me.
wish you the best of luck. And want to remind everybody to check us out on all the major podcast platforms. Rate us. Make sure to subscribe. Let us know what you think. We're on YouTube as well. And remember that we'll be back with more on the Accelerator before you know it.
Thank you for having me. Take care. Bye.